Let's take it back to 1995 just quickly, the year that DVDs were invented. Playboy became legal again in the Republic of Ireland and Brienne Worth was born, most importantly. It was also the year that the internet was privatized, ushering in a technological era that has completely consumed humanity ever since. This also means that my generation was the last to have a childhood without internet. I didn't have consistent use of the internet until I was a teenager, but I did have a Nokia with Snake on it. So who's the real winner? It didn't have a SIM card, but I didn't know what that was. Do you remember this? Yeah, if my Italian mother was on the phone, which she always was, there was no hope in hell of anyone getting on the internet because you couldn't be on the phone and on the internet at the same time. I don't know why those were the rules, they just were. For someone who's now making a living off the internet, it's pretty strange to remember that my house didn't even have phone reception growing up. You had to walk to the end of the road if you wanted to send a text, and that text would cost 25 cents. The point of all of this is that there was a time before people were chronically online. What does it mean to be chronically online? It describes those who spend so much time online that excuse their sense of reality and hinders their ability to effectively communicate about topics like politics or social justice because they lack real-world experience. In a nutshell, what it does fail to mention is how fucking infuriating these people are to interact with. Those interactions being 100% online, of course. We're going to deep dive into the bottomless pit of never-ending manufactured outrage that is chronically online takes. Because if we have to put up with them, at least we can milk them for content, you know? And to find people who are chronically online, we have to go straight to the source. Twitter. Nothing good happens on Twitter. I don't think there is a single real human being on Twitter who has gone outside in the past 90 days. Before we begin, a big thank you to my patrons who keep this channel going. These are all the patrons from the upper tiers. If you'd like your name listed, go to patreon.com/BrienneWorth. You can get a free t-shirt that I will send out to you along with like a handwritten note. Excuse my handwriting in advance. There's bonus content. I'm actually filming more bonus content, full-length videos. All tiers get access to the Discord. You can message me directly on Patreon, and it starts for as little as $3 a month, so consider checking that out, or just subscribe. Even that, babes. Also, a big thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video, but I'll get back to that in just a second. First, we need to unpack this mess. Let's start with this lovely post from a girl named Daisy. My husband and I wake up every morning and bring our coffee out to our garden and sit there and talk for hours every morning. It never gets old and we never run out of things to talk about. I love him so much. Most people would struggle to find something wrong with that. Not this This guy cannot let this one slide. It's cute and all, but did you think of all the people who wake up to work grueling hours, wake up on the streets alone or with chronic pain before posting this? You should be mindful next time before bragging about your picture perfect life. You might upset someone. Like, specifically, you might upset this person and no one else. Who reads about someone having a nice coffee with their partner and thinks that's fucking selfish? That's what that is. But actually no, quite a few people took offense to this. Sabrina was most displeased. I hope you know how privileged that sounds. I bet most people have sacred things but aren't as lucky. Doctors, teachers, social workers, and many more. I'm willing to bet my life on the fact that this person is not a doctor, a teacher, or a social worker, but is still getting outraged on their behalf. This one takes the goddamn cake though. This is insane. How do I tell the 18-year-old that using me as a therapist and crisis counselor isn't healthy for either of us? Her child, mind you. He has no consistently supportive adult voices in his life except ours. His parents, the parents. But I'm conscious of the femme labor paradigm. It's reinforcing that I'm the parent confidant. You're his mother. I understand the toll of parenting falling, especially emotional labor of parenting, falling more towards women. That's a very well documented problem that we have in society. But this is just deeply concerning, honestly, and I would almost think that maybe this is just out of context if it weren't for this other tweet. I also washed the 11-year-old's hair tonight. We're doing the curly girl lifestyle. The amount of emotional labor I've performed in the past 2 hours, holy fuck. Doing your daughter's hair and being there for your son is just being a parent. Like, that's not... Parenting is stressful, that completely makes sense. It's draining, it's the biggest job you could ever do, but this isn't like extra unhealthy shit. This is just part of the deal, you know what I mean? Your kids confiding in you is not creating an unhealthy relationship between you and what? Fucking moving on. IRL mutuals at college, y'all, this shit is crazy. Do you mean friends? You're making friends. It's friends that you're making. I think I'm gonna start calling my friends IRL mutuals from now on. And let's take a little break to talk about the sponsor of this video, Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN service that helps secure your online activity in more ways than one. It's one app that helps you guard your online identity, keeps your data safe, helps you avoid malware and tracking when you're browsing, and it can help you get around geo-blocking on sites like Netflix or other streaming services. That's probably my favorite feature. For example, Australia's Netflix is not super great, but there are a lot more shows on the UK or US Netflix. So you can use Surfshark to say that you're browsing from the US, for example, and you can unlock the US Netflix library. When you're browsing on the internet, there are inherent risks that you're automatically kind of exposed to. Data breaches, hacking, your IP service being able to see what you're searching. You can also use Surfshark to block ads, cookies, pop-ups, and trackers. Surfshark antivirus also guards you from online malware. It scans files before you download them, for example, and even protects your webcam. It'll block access to your webcam from all unauthorized apps and websites, and also alerts you when someone's tried to gain access to your webcam. I use Surfshark all the time, and obviously I've got a massive discount for you. If you use the code BriennePass or use the link in my description, you can save up to 81% and get Surfshark for as little as $3.72 a month Australian dollars. So that's even cheaper if you're in America. There's different tiers that you can choose from to suit your needs, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee if for some reason you don't like it. That's BriennePass at checkout, or the link in my description, and thank you so much to Surfshark for sponsoring this channel. Back to the cesspit. This one honestly is a personal favorite. It really doesn't sit right with me when people make fun of people who can't cook. It's starting out alright, to be honest. It's not their fault that no one taught them, and learning any skill as an adult can be really daunting, especially when cookery is such an overwhelmingly broad subject. Haha, they can't even boil an egg. That's not funny. It's shit they've never had an opportunity to learn, and instead of providing that opportunity, you're just gonna laugh at them. Get a life. I don't know if we're the ones who need to get a life in this. I get it, if you were never taught cooking growing up, then being bad at cooking is like, makes sense, but at some point, and she's mentioned learning a skill as an adult. So we're talking about adults here. We have all of human knowledge at our fingertips. If you can sit there and complain on Twitter, you can learn how to boil an egg. Normalize giving away clothes you no longer wear to orphanages. Another one where you're like, how could this possibly be misconstrued? But Josty's done it. Josty heard about that and they were like, hold my beer. I burn mine because sometimes it's not safe to give them away. Immediately I need to know more. The original poster asks, how is it not safe? To which Josty says, some people bewitch us using our clothes. What the actual what on God's green earth is this? What is this behavior? Some people bewitch us using our clothes. And what does that mean? And what does, you know what? Fuck the orphans. Josty knows better. This one's honestly, this one may be my last straw, and I don't even think we're halfway through the video. Asking people to put their phones down and not record the majority of a concert is ableist because some people dissociate. And this was someone's response to Mitski asking her fans to not record at concerts, and that one's just about done me in. By the way, this is not shitting on people who dissociate or have problems with that. This is shitting on people who don't have these problems, speaking on behalf of this invented person that may be dissociating at a show and needs to record it. Like, obviously that is not who she's talking about. This is a very interesting one. Hating / disliking children is a form of ableism. So many of the reasons adults dislike kids are things that they can't control because of their bodies and brains. They're new humans learning how to navigate the world, and instead of understanding, they get disdain. It's hard to deny that of all the things that like will annoy a human being, generally kids do 99% of them. Not everyone dislikes kids. Sometimes you love all kids, sometimes you hate all kids. People are all different. Sometimes it's a chore to be around children, especially if you're not a parent and have no interest in kids. Doesn't make you ableist. Why is it so normalized to stop drinking when pregnant? Isn't not wanting your baby to have disabilities kind of ableist? Reading this shit makes me feel like I need to go outside and touch grass and sit in the sun and have a banana because it's just making me sad. Wanting babies to be born healthy where possible, or at least not disadvantaged and injured physically because of their parents drinking, is not ableist. No, it's not. Normalize people hanging out and going to eat as friends. It is. It is, babes. It's normal. I will say I do like the track that this person is on because clearly they're thinking about going outside, and we're not gonna knock that. That's a great start. Wanting to normalize leaving the house with your friends and eating is an impeccable start. Person said, do you ever get secondhand happiness, like someone is happy so you're happy because they're happy? And this person said, Twitter user discovers empathy. And this is honestly not the first time I've seen this happen, where people have been like describing basic empathy and being like, do you guys get this? One just says, dear men, stop owning female dogs. It gives off a clear indication that you subconsciously want to control and own women. Purchase/adopt a male dog instead. Fuck off. The point was made there. Was it a good one? We don't know. My rebuttal would be stop being so f***ing weird. Just let people have dogs. Any dog is good. Any dog is great. Not everyone looks at their pet as something to dominate. In fact, the person tweeting this is self-reporting that they look at pets as something to dominate instead of like a little buddy that you've got in your life that you're responsible for. The fact that they can't see pets as anything other than something to have dominion over is incredibly weird. It's incredibly weird. Minor coded or not, their height. Any girl under 5'7" is basically a red flag for being minor coded, since that's around the common height for children. No, it's not. This applies to canon characters and OCs. I don't know what an OC is. 5'7" is like a normal size for an adult human. Average size of females. Well, what is 38.7 inches? 5 feet 4 inches in the US. Like, what the fuck? What is this person on about? I've never seen these gargantuan children walking around that they speak of. Giving disabled people assistance is ableist because it insinuates that disabled people aren't just as able as non-disabled people. I have to think this is a joke. I have to think this is a joke, and at the very least, someone who is disabled did not tweet this. This takes someone truly detached from any kind of problem of disability to be this fucking thick-headed. Like, what? I have to think this is a joke or someone mimicking an actual Chronically online tweet. What some of y'all don't understand is speeding can literally be a coping mechanism for some people. And of course it's come from a TikTok comment. Of course it made its way to Tumblr, and this is the series of replies. Some people do 50 and a 35 to cope. Great question. This person said, sometimes it's really nice to play fast and loose with your life. But what about everyone else on the road? Speeding on a road that endangers everyone else on the road can potentially kill other people, traumatize other people, damage people's shit at the very least. That's not a coping mechanism. It's just selfish. I hope that goes without saying. Literally just gave a homeless man 20 bucks and now I need to find a way to steal it back because I thought this was one of those social experiment investments where he would give me $500. I'm sick to my stomach. This is peak Chronically online. God, I also just have to think this one's a joke because I refuse to believe there's people like this walking around. I don't know what the context of this one is, but let's start here. I feel similar about STI prevention, creating a world with no STIs, that kind of language. It's inherently sex negative because at the end of the day, if people are having sex, there are gonna be STIs, even if rates are low and manageable. Teen pregnancy prevention also sends messages about who is allowed or encouraged to reproduce. Like, yeah, ideally not children is the point with that one. Ideally not kids reproducing is the gist of that. We cannot pretend that public health is not ideologically based and sometimes very oppressive. I'd hate to see what this was in response to. Obviously, and I should hope that it is obviously minimizing the spread of STIs. It's not sex negative. If anything, it's sex positive. It's like, yeah, go have all the sex you want. Just do it safely. Just be careful about it, get checked up. Teen pregnancy prevention is so that teenagers are not having children because generally they're not prepared to be parents financially, emotionally, maturity-wise. And because this is the internet, that's not to say that teenage parents are all bad or you can't have a healthy, functioning, mentally well baby. To a teenage parent, a lot of unwanted pregnancies were happening with teenagers, so to prevent those unwanted pregnancies, safe sex practices were targeted at teenagers because they're an at-risk group for a number of different reasons. Does that not go without saying? Were we not all caught up on that? I've never felt this mentally well in my whole life. A great thing. It's a good thing we love to see. Not this person though, not this person playing a bass guitar in their profile picture. What a fucking time to post this. Why? Truly, why? Are you willfully ignorant of the Supreme Court dismantling your freedoms, or are you willfully ignorant of the Supreme Court dismantling our freedoms, or are you just conservative or just stupid? Sorry for having a good day. And she should be sorry for having a good day and getting on top of her mental health. White people culturally appropriated suicide. Fuck. Oh my God, these people are so dense. White people culturally appropriated suicide. That is where we're starting this sentence. For some cultures, it was a respectful way to ensure life ends on a high note and not die of old age. Now it's taken by white depressed teens and is made to be something completely different. What? Suicide, once a positive thing, was fucking white people, man, always at it. I do feel the need to unpack this a little bit, because obviously not only white people get depressed, not only white people commit suicide. I would argue suicide has always been a pretty not positive thing. Can't even kill yourself anymore without getting cancelled. What the fuck? That's where we got to end this. That is it. I'm very full, thank you. I am done. My cup is empty. It filleth, it's spilt. That's all for this video, guys. I hope you took something from this experience. If you'd like another one of these, good luck. I took a few brain cells and just threw them at the wall. That's how I'm feeling. Everyone go outside today. Please just go outside today.